we're going to use some PVC and we're going to put an outlet down here.
This box goes in
Three, yes. Three. Keep some of that, right? Screwdriver. Alrighty. We're going to add a outlet. Alrighty. Put this piece in to put our PVC conduit into. Yes, I have the lock. All right. What there? Okay, so now we can take. We bought a little mini hacksaw here. And we'll cut a little off of the plate here. Not a whole lot. Okay, so we'll open up the knockout in this box. And we'll put our connector in here. We'll put our box onto our PVC here. Now it's indoors, so we don't have to glue it. And we'll put this end up in here like this. Push it up in here nice and tight. We'll use our 1/2-inch straps. I'll move this stuff out of the way so you can see. We'll put it on here so it's going nice and straight. And we'll snake our wires. Feed our wire down. Let's see if we can do the whole thing to get in. Yep, we can. Make sure we put a tandem in here. Yeah, this is the yellow wire. Okay. So this is the tandem breaker. It has 2 circuits in place of the one. So we'll make sure it's going to fit. Oh, good. Oh, good. 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 Okay, that breaker fit. How nice. And we'll unhook our main circuit from this. And this will put on the 15 amp because it's going to 14 gauge wire. Put it in, make sure it's in our hole all the way. Okay. Let's see where we can put her. If the the insulation wants to tear, we'll just tear, so we don't get all bent out of shape. We'll just cut it down the middle carefully so we don't cut the wires underneath. Didn't cut anything underneath here. Okay, I'm going to put the outlet together. We'll screw our box to the wall here. Make sure it stays nice and straight. Nice and solid. Solid. So according to the NEC, we have to, can you slide my tool? Oh, right, I get it. I got it. Okay. We have to bond our ground wire to the box here. Take our ground wire, we'll get it around that ground screw back in here. loop the direction our screw turns. I'll pull up on it so it gets under the screw head all the way around there. Make sure it's nice and tight. We'll bring it down. We'll put it down here in the bottom. Clip some off here. Okay, here in the country I was born in, your black is live. Your white is neutral. Oh, I clipped that with a 14. So you can see here it says AWG solid, so the second hole is the 12. So if you cut it with a 14, you'll make a weak spot in the wire. So we'll cut it with our 12. Okay, here in the country I was born in, your white wire goes on the silver screw, which is the wide slot. Your black wire goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot, and the green or the bare wire goes on the ground screw. Here in the country I was born in, our black, red, and blue are your live colors, and your white is neutral, except for in a 110, 120 volt switch loop, or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral, you may find the white wire live. So we'll put our wires around the screws, the direction our screw turns. Close our loop like this. Okay, we'll make sure our copper is under the screw head all the way around. And I don't like how the Phillips screwdriver hops on those screws, so I'm going to tighten it with my flathead like that. We'll get our black on our brass colored screw here. Always put your wire around the screw, the direction your screw turns. I'll use the flathead. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. Okay, now we'll get our ground wire and we'll put it around our green screw. The loop, the direction our screw turns. We want to make sure our wire gets under the screw head all the way around there. Okay, we'll push back with our thumb here. And we'll just tighten it up nice and tight. There we go, like that. Copper's under the screw head all the way around. I see a little copper sticking out here, so I'll just loosen it a little bit. I'll pull forward on my outlet some. There, now it's under the screw head all the way around the way I want it. Now we'll just turn our outlet around. Now we'll push our wires back into our box. We'll go zigzag across the bottom, and we'll go. Make sure our wires don't pinch on anything, so we go in like an accordion here. goes in like an accordion here. Making sure our copper is going to stay down away from everything here. And I'll tighten it by hand with our flathead so we don't strip our holes out. Make our ground wires down away from everything here. And we'll finish it off by putting a cover on our box here.
Okay.
Yep.
Plug one in.
Not yet. Now I got to hook it up here. Okay. Okay, so we'll put our black wire on the breaker here. This box is a little messy from somebody else working on it, so it is what it is. I'll try to get it as neat as I can due to the circumstances we have. So we'll put our black on the breaker. Put our black one on the breaker. Okay. Okay, now we'll take and we can put our you can get a ground wire in here. Yeah, we're going to move this ground wire over here. See if there's or we could pigtail it down here. I'll put it over here. There's an open hole here. So that will give us 2 screws. So we'll put it over here. There's a weak spot in this ground wire, so I'm going to take it out. I'm going to angle the camera up so you can see better. So there's a little weak spot in our ground wire here, so we're going to cut that off. And we're going to put it in with this here. No, I guess I can't put it in there, so it's going to have to go back over here to where it was. Just let it lay. Just let it lay. Okay, now we're going to put our white and our ground over here, and we're going to have to double it in a screw, which really isn't code, but right now we don't have a choice. So we'll cut it off here. Put them in side by side. We'll strip our insulation off. Sometimes you don't have a choice. So we'll just put them in side by side. Sometimes you just have to do what you got to do, but they're side by side. It's the same gauge. So we'll just go through and make sure all of them are tight. Okay, now we can put our wires back into our box. Okay, so we are all set. Let's make sure the screws here are tight. I'll make sure these are tight. Okay. So now we can just put our cover back on. Okay, I'm going to make sure our screws are not going to hit any wires. And we have the joy of having to look for a screw because it fell somewhere. But if we don't find it, we're not getting upset. We'll just have to buy another one, that's all. You don't let stuff like that bother you. And luckily, it's right here. And we'll turn our circuits back on. Alrighty, so that is how to install a dedicated outlet from a small breaker box here in the country I was born in. We use a 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. Peace. Thanks for watching.
These are very, very good for a lot of people. Oh, hold on to that too.
Yes.
I think it's good.
Yes, it's great.
Hold on to that.